I'm missing something. We'll just fly through this chat. Okay.
Rise to the top.
I've
or get
risen.
left in the dust.
It didn't miss anything? I don't know. It
Keep
just
your
doesn't seem
wits
like
about
it's
you.
right. Oh, pause.
I must thank you, esteemed Magos. After your intervention, I feel 50 years younger. Both my knee implants are as good as new.
I agreed to help out of respect for the priceless array of augmentations placed in your body. Such sacred creations deserve the best maintenance available.
And there's something for Gap Rack. Maybe
I
I
always
didn't
keep my
miss
options
anything.
open.
I don't know. Just doesn't seem. It seems like I'm missing something. Guess maybe not.
Let us not dawdle.
I don't. Nobody I can talk to. So. Okay. Okay, I'm just gonna cover our ground. I mean, it just... I guess I wish to learn more. Let's do that. Maybe that's what I needed the last time. Maybe nothing's changed and I just wasted time. Thank you for your willingness to help, Lord Captain. I'm certain all the charges are false. We'd be grateful if you're up exposing them. Okay. Where'd I already run to? Gina. Your lordship. You really believe the Viserions are guilty? Certainly. Governor Drevson possessed proof of the guilt and have no means by which to refute it. Even if I were to entertain the idea that the Viserion would be inframed, how much longer would it be the House ever lasted anyway? If it is so ill-prepared for treachery. My advice to House Viserion would be not to appeal the rogue trader's help, but instead simply stop, accept the fate. It's making matter. How would you say that? I cannot remember Mykillangelo seeking your advice on what the House of Viserion should do in the situation. Pay attention. Focus on the rogue trader's questions. Who, apart from the Viserions, would have the motive to conspire against me? House Drysum, wishing to expand their clout. House Gaprak, who lost their influence after Cave of Gamma incident. House Sarbax, whose patriarch is too direct in his communication with the rogue trader. Anyone would have reason to conspire against you. And equally, they would have none. It's not the question of motive, but loyalty. Each of your subjects has sworn oath of loyalty to you, and in sincerity do you doubt. Oh yeah, we're gonna look closer. Look close. Hey, succeeded. Despite the attempts to suppress the revulsion from the presence of inhumans in your retinue, undoubtedly reflects his fervent desire to eliminate the enemies of humanity. Coercion? Try. Nobody's really high. Oh my god, it succeeded. The rogue trader is the chosen servant of the Emperor and no one of humanity's best. By surrounding yourself with depraved xenos who scorn the very exceptionalism of humankind, you teeter on the brink of heresy, and no privilege granted by the Emperor can blind others to that fact. The thought of existing in the same sector of xenos is revolting, but the presence of your retinue here in the capital city of Ambulantia's trade dynasty enrages me. To have the xenos sullying the streets of this planet after what we endured, under the protection of rogue trader no less. Your unveiled hatred for me is so obvious, Sarbak, that it's grounds enough to charge you with heresy. I'm hearing this from you, the Emperor's servant who flouts all that is sacred, person who seems to think laws of the Imperium are meaningless. Arcarius, now is the time you do well to stop, not make matters worse for yourself. The assailants were sent to a palace were rare. The high-functioning servitors, do you think Gaprax could be behind the attack? I've always thought that Toriana is too weak to participate in such risky ventures, but it seems I was wrong about her. Alright, I don't like you already. I don't like you already. Wherever you are. Oh, right there. Little insignificant man. Toriana? Greetings, your lordship. May Omnisci grant you understanding. Abelard, it must be difficult for you to hear the under these circumstances with your house standing accused of a grave crime. Lady Toriana is yet to be found guilty of anything. That verdict is the rogue trader's to reach. You think the accusations are true? I would not take such responsibility by myself to rule their guilt, your lordship. I do think Governor Drysum's accusations are worthy of consideration, however. In your opinion, what house nobles might have a reason to be a party of such conspiracy? Pardon my bluntness, your lordship, but I will answer truthfully. It could be anyone. Greed, fear, and ideals can drive the most loyal subjects to the unthinkable. While I have examined the bodies of the assailants that were killed today, all of them were high-functioning servitors. Such servitors are only employed to families close to the Adeptus Mechanicus. Is that so? Okay, so... Okay, no, that's fine. Yeah, if you want to install it later, it's not very often I'll be on Twitch, just Twitch alone. Probably for stuff like this, so I don't get the copyrights. But yeah, nope. But I do see it. I do see you. I see you. Your Lordship, thank you for informing us. You are absolutely right. My house has indeed been endowed with high-functioning servitors, a blessed of those that revered Omnissiah. But today, none of those house members were accompanied by them. Descent, I wish to speak to you. Ready to serve. What do you make of the charges? I do not think I can doubt the validity of the accusations, but I am not sure that the House Viserion had reason to betray you. I do not know any instance where their loyalty to you or the Emperor was anything less than unwavering. I can see sounds and taste colors. And brown is delicious. I know you care for a story of a Syrian. Are you prepared to watch or die? That's something you ought to know. Today I noticed one of my family members being an odd, uncharacteristic. Helen Gaprack, my paternal second cousin, once removed. May the Emperor save his soul. Usually reserved, self-possessed. Today he was always frantic and anxious, fidgeting with a small piece of paper and seemingly looking for someone to no avail. When I last saw him, he was headed to the entrance hall where the altars are. Perhaps you should talk to him. Had to use your original name instead? Wouldn't let you starbend? That's alright. That's alright. Unless it's brownie batter. And that'll do. That'll do, donkey. Here to the drive stems.
Backup plan.
It's Governor. Governor. Thank you, Lordship. Thank you for giving the case to your undivided attention. I want to hear your reasoning again why you think the plot against me. As soon as the logistical and economic problems gave rise to the initial rumors, we tried to find the person responsible for spreading the calls for Voitivir return. The investigation showed that some of the documents inside the Adeptus Administrata were forgeries. You can thank my son Cornelius for such astute observations. Your Lordship, I assure you my humble person is undeserving of your attention. Cornelius holds a prestigious position in the Administrative Palace, and it is he who discovered the errors leading to the disrupted logistics. Also, thanks to him, we found the perpetrators of the forgeries, who admitted to acting on the orders of House Viserion. All the assailants were high-functioning servitors. The servitors are only employed by families close to the Adeptus Mechanicus. It's time for bed? Alright, alright. Well, thanks for stopping by, Maddie. You remember them tomorrow as well? Okay, perfect. Perfect. Alright. Yeah, we'll stay warm. Have a good night. High-functioning servitors. Such servitors are indeed rare, and the Gapraks do have them in their service. But it should have been done intentionally, with an eye of confusing you. Anyone with the desire to sufficiently funds can hire them. Tell me more about your son. Carbon says, good night. Thank you for your interest, your lordship, but I'm not worthy of it. Son, show due respect. Forgive him, your lordship. This is the first time he had the honor of attracting the attention of the rogue trader. I just pulled him to the side and talked to him. No, I talked to Vincent. Oh, never mind, wrong person. Tell me about your job. Oh, shit. I hit the wrong one. When compiling reports in the cycle's supply chain, I noticed inaccuracy and discrepancies in the future. With the help of other clerics, I managed to find several other documents. Comprehensive data analysis has shown that the discrepancies were caused by an intentional tampering with the data, thus leading to some logistical problems that were practically unsolvable. Father and I have managed to single out the administrative clerks responsible for tampering with the data. Following a heated interrogation, they confessed, and they were following the orders of someone from the House of Viserion. Everyone was supposed to look as though they were the ones suffering the loss from the logistical economic problems. Tell me more about your job. I manage the documents and records related to the economy of Dargonis. I probably know how scrupulous the workers of the Adeptus Administratum are. I'm afraid that the detailed explanation of my duties would mirror administrative processes to the Administratum. Too long, too overly detailed. Does House Viserion have access to the Adeptus Administratum? There's no conceivable way he could do all this in a place where they do not hold any power. I think the right amount of money can open doors. What's the reason for your nervousness? This is the first time I have spoken face to face with a rogue trader. I'm afraid he's saying something wrong and forgetting something important. You wish to tell Lord Captain anything else? I could threaten him. You're speaking to the Lord Trader, and my patience are running out. Forgive me, Lucha, I can't do it anymore. This lie has gone too far, and I can no longer control it. The truth is, all the logistical problems were caused by a single error in the numbers. My mistake. What? When I discovered my mistake, it was almost impossible to restore the supply lines. And when I approached by someone who said they were a friend, they did not give me their name, and I never saw their face. They promised to fix the problem. All I had to do was pretend that the Viserions were responsible for the mistake, and that the rest of the evidence they promised to arrange it. And what have you done? How could you, your lordship? This is my fault. I trusted my son, and he failed doing so. I beg you, have mercy. You called my family honor into question, Urbend. Nonetheless, I harbor no desire to kick a man when he's down. Lord Captain, the confession you've attained means House Viserion can now be cleared of all charges. What is this friend that approached you? How did the two of them communicate? By a letter. I received a letter out of the blue one day. It was unsigned, and the person writing it already knew the error in his calculations. They offered to help me cover up my misdeed. In return, I would name the Viserions as the ones who sabotaged the supply lines, and all I had to do was gather some of the documents and reports that they were listening to, or listed in one of the letters that kept my mouth shut. I sentenced him to death immediately. Your son has found the courage to admit his mistake. I will try to find some compassion for him in my heart. Thank you, Lordship. As for your position, I think you will be reassigned to a role requiring less responsibility. Okay. Not sure I'm ready yet. It seems like I'm missing. Oh,
Is there money to be made?
here we go. Your Lordship, accept my most humble apologies for failing to greet you properly. Many thanks for agreeing to speak to me before you make your final decision. Charges brought to the governor are severe, but I can only assure you of this. I swear on my own honor, we are not guilty of the crimes the House of Viserion is being accused of. Lamentia, you're acting head of the family. You're supposed to take care of each and every family member, and now you're being accused of a treason and collusion against a rogue trader, and the entire family is facing death. How could you let this happen? Governor claims, forged, let's see. Governor claims he forged documents in the Administratum. The fleet of the primary remit of House of Viserion. It is our responsibility. Logistics and supply routes were another area of our responsibility. We have no direct influence on the inner workings of the Adeptus Administratum. First large-scale deliveries were cancelled after quantities of food were miscalculated by the clerics of Administratum. They were forced with incorrect weather data and meager fuel budget. It was clear that the cause of these problems was the calculations performed by the Administratum. in one way or another, but no matter how many times we asked, we could not obtain clarification on the matter. The attackers were high-functioning servitors. One of them looked closer than ordinary human. Do you know anything about them? Servitors? Is that so? I have encountered servitors that were indistinguishable from normal augmented humans, but only once. They were accompanying several of the members of the House Gaprak. If you're not guilty, who stands gain from framing you? Anyone, really. The other houses consider us unworthy of our position and would jump at the chance to rid us and gain control over what's our domain. Planet's fleet and logistics, at the very least. Lady Theodora chose to grant noble status to House Viserion, but the other houses, which have served the Expanse for a millennia, did not welcome the decision. It has led some difficulties. I want to find out what's going on here and who's the real mastermind behind all this. Where should I start? I'm afraid I can't be of much help. Talk to representatives of other houses, eavesdrops on their retinue, and perhaps you'll hear something. Okay. Oh, okay. So...
Always keep your eye on the prize.
I don't trust these guys. If they were saying something earlier, I missed it. Yeah, that's going to be too long to find it. These guys hate me.
Keep your wits about you.
I'm going to grant you understanding. Abelard must be difficult for you to under the circumstances of how she's standing. Such a crime. Nothing. Nobody else is in the yellow here.
I always keep my options open.
I'm not sure who to accuse.
Rise to the top or get left in the dust.
I have to be missing something, right? Nobody to talk to. It was terrible. It seemed to ordinary or low-ranking aristocrats with their tasteless, gaudy clothes. That was kind of a waste listening to that.
Is there money to be made? Always
I
keep
don't see
your eye
anything
on
else.
the prize.
Yes, always. Alright, I guess we're gonna have to talk to Drivestem, because I don't know.
Let us not dawdle.
Okay. All right. Man, not much else I can do. Allow me to prepare everything. Charges brought by the Governor Dresden were fabricated. House Viserion had nothing to do with the orchestration of the riots of the plot targeting the rogue trader, and yet there's far from concluded. House Sarback... Oh, I don't even have to do anything. I just know it. Okay. House Sarback is guilty. The head of the family has never tried to hide his attitude towards me. That's more than enough for a convict him. I will not go against your despicable verdict. I will accept it. House Sarback has never given you a reason to doubt our loyalty, and thus I will accept death with pride. For there is more honor than in serving the likes of you. Regina takes a breath to say something, then stops at the last moment. Her beautiful voice does not express anything but frosty resignation. The noble dynasty and all of its branches have been found guilty of heresy. By the order of Rogue Trader, the entire house will be executed. The sentence will be carried out immediately. The entire house. Damn. That's insane. By the order of the Rogue Trader and members of the House Sarback are sentenced to the death of heresy, the crimes against Von Valancius trade dynasty. What am I looking at? Oh, just people with the foam noodles. That's what they're doing. I think it's supposed to be the arms. I don't know what that is. I don't know. Is that their arms? Damn, we're just...
No.
Lord Captain, you have my thanks. Rogue Trader should not waste time on matters his servants and trustees can resolve. But in this case, your intervention was necessary, not for the sake of my family, but your trade dynasty as well. Regina Sauerbrach, evidently Kunrad's accomplice, continued to plot against your protectorate. A fear we have not heard the last of such scoundrels. Thanks to you, Lord Captain, House Viserion is saved, although it came close to being wiped out as a result of scheming without the impudence within. Imprudence. Sometimes I think about how much I would teach them. I could ensure they survive in the future without me. What are you going to do now? I need time to reflect upon what's happening and the role I played in it. I think I'll be ready to resume conversation later when we're back on board of the ship. Alright, well, that's probably where we're heading. Now we gotta go to the Nameless Star system.